Welcome to this week's Dream Car judging video here at BOTB. We'd now like to hand over to today's lawyer from Onside Law who'll oversee the proceedings.
My name's Claire Wallace from Onside Law and I'll be overseeing the judging this morning. Firstly, I can confirm that the competition data has already been sent to the auditing company Assets. I would now like today's judges to introduce themselves and, using the secure link provided, mark on the screen where they think the centre of the ball should be. The group will then come to a final panel decision.
Good morning, my name is Matt Cannon. I'm a senior county referee and footballer.
Good morning, my name is Alain Goma. I'm an ex-professional football player, having played for Paris Saint-Germain, Newcastle and Fulham.
Good morning, my name's Hugh Gilroy. I'm a referee, mentor, tutor and observer.
Good morning, my name is Leo Donnellan. I'm an ex-professional football player, having been with Chelsea, Fulham and Leyton Orient.
Hello, my name's Wendy Martin. I previously played for Tottenham Hotspur Ladies and currently play beach soccer for England and Great Britain.
Good morning, my name's Peter Giorgio. I am a football and futsal referee.
Good morning, my name's Andy Braithwaite and I'm a football referee, mentor and licensed observer.
My name's Liam Walsh. I'm a retired referee, currently an FA observer and head coach for the Middlesex Referees Academy.
Judges, please now come to a final panel decision. For your reference, the larger white cross is the calculated average of the 8 individual selections.
Thank you very much, Claire. Good morning, everybody. Before I draw some lines in, Peter, I'm going to come to you first. Yours is the light pink cross closest to the green player. If you could explain what you're seeing in the photograph, trajectory of the ball and how you reached your decision, please.
Yes, you can see there's three players on shot. The playing in the foreground there, quite a distance away, looking in the general direction of the green player. The green player, I think, he not too sure if he's actually in the air or not, or in regards to the player in white who may be crouching, not too sure exactly what's happening there. So what I've actually done, I've actually gone with direction of the eyes in this situation, because it's quite a placid photograph. The player in green is looking at, as you look at the screen, he's looking to the right, to his left, and fairly horizontal. And then the player in the white just looking up closer to the green player than the rest of my colleagues. And I've just gone with the eye lines. So it could be a bouncing ball. Couldn't really tell.
Okay, you think it's coming right to left, left to right, or
no? It could be a bouncing ball. It could be coming in. It could be coming into the players from the screen, from us viewing into the screen. It could be any one of those.
Okay,
couldn't really tell.
All right, I'll draw some lines. We've got a fairly narrow band from this player in green. And then we've got a much bigger spread from the player in white. We've got two Leo and Liam's on the right. We have Hugh and Peter's on the left. So I'll do the left side first and then come across and then do the middle. So Hugh, that means I'll come to you next. You're slightly lower than Peter's, roughly on the same line up from the player in white, at a bit lower. What did you see?
Thanks, Matt. Yeah, very similar, to be honest, as Peter. Just, for me, can't tell whether it's bouncing, whether it's coming from left or left to right or right to left, sorry. Wondered whether the green player had maybe got a flick on it already, just by how he's kind of twisted and turned, whether he's already played this across. But I felt particularly his left eye was looking downwards, so I felt that it was kind of just below horizontal from him. In terms of the white player, I think he's kind of behind the green player, and he looks obviously a lot lower, crouched down, maybe reacting to go or off balance before, but for me, he's just looking in a kind of general direction. So the main focus for me was, where was the green player looking?
Okay, thank you. And then we'll come back over to the other side of the calculated average. So I'll come to you next, Liam. Yours is the light blue cross there is magnified. What was your thoughts?
Yes, thanks, Matt. I felt the ball was dropping in centrally into the photo. The guy in green, for me, I felt that he's got elevation to his line for the centre of the ball, due to the fact that his brow's furrowed. I feel that's pulling his vision line up just slightly off of a horizontal line. Regarding the guy in white, he's crouched. He's again looking up. He's looking into his foreground. He's got a clear sight line on the ball. And I just, again, looking, I felt his body though, his body shape for me, the shoulders, his sort of right shoulder seems to be turned. And that's why I feel the ball just slightly over to that side.
Okay, thank you. And up on the same line, up from the player in white, is yours, Leo. You're a little bit lower, the dark blue cross. What did you see?
Yeah, hi, Matt.
Right.
Yeah, I took a lot from both players' eyes this morning. I think the player in green is not going to get to the ball. I think I personally don't think he's jumped or he's trying to head the ball. I think the ball's passing him and he's just watching it. I think with his eye line, he's looking obviously to his left and very slightly down. The player in white, he's either crouched down, Matt, or maybe he's possibly kind of getting up from the ground, trying to get to the ball. Because I just think he's very low. So if he's crouched, he's very lowly crouched. I took a lot from his eyes. I think he's pretty focused on the ball, which is in front of him. And I think it's just slightly to the right of his forehead as he's looking up.
Yeah, thank you. And then I'll come to Andy, you next. You're the purple cross. You're ever so slightly higher up from the player and white than the rest of us. What were your thoughts?
Thanks, Matt. Good morning. For me, I'm going to take a little bit off of the last two judges there. From Leo's point of view, yes, I think he is looking that the ball has gone beyond him. I don't think it's the guy in green to play. If we look to the right-hand side, we've got an arm, literally just an arm on the right-hand side now. We don't know whether that's a player in white or a player in green, but I feel the ball is going to that person. The way his arm's out just gives me that little bit of, like the ball's coming into him, whether he's going to chest it, head it, or whatever. The guy in green, the ball's gone past him, coming from left to right. And the guy in white, crouching down, was basically marking him, in my opinion. But the ball has bypassed the two of them and it's gone onto the next fellow. As I said, I don't know whether he's in white or green. Again, going back to then what I think Liam mentioned about him being on the ground, or it might have been Leo, sorry. For me, his shirt, there's nothing ruffled on his shirt telling me that he's jumped up or down or whatever. So I feel that, yes, he's just flat on the ground. But as I say, I think the ball's bypassed him. The third guy along that we can see, he's too far in the background to take anything from his eye line. But yeah, I've basically taken the line from the guy in white who's crouching, looking up into the space, and the guy in green, the ball's gone past him. And that's where I've come to my conclusion.
Great, thank you. Next, Alain, you're the green cross. You're in the middle of all of us. What did you see in this?
Yeah, thank you, Matt. No, I thought it was a difficult picture to read this morning. I agree with Andy. Actually, we can see an arm on the right of the picture, and we can't see if it's a green or a white player, but it could be the one who's going to play this ball. And I thought it could be because look at the player on the left in green. It looks like he's running, in the space. So it could be a green player deflecting the ball, in the space for this player in green, if it makes sense. But based on the eye lines, I thought the player in green on the left is looking across on his left, slightly below horizontal. And the player who is crouching in white, I think, is looking up. Yeah, the ball is in the foreground, actually, forgot to mention. But I thought he was looking up, slightly in front of him.
Yeah, thank you. Wendy, you're ever so slightly the lowest, but again in the middle, just below my own. There's your orange cross. Did you agree with that?
So yeah, it was a difficult picture today. I think I did take a lot from the eye lines. I actually felt that it was a ball coming in from right to left, because if you look at the player in the background in the white and the player in green, they're both looking as though they're running from right to left. So I felt that if the ball was coming in the other way, their body positions would have been different. So I actually feel that maybe it is a ball just sort of coming over the shoulder of the player in green. He's one of the other judges mentioned he's maybe running into some space. And I think that the player in green is the one that's favourite to get the ball. I think the player that's crouching in white, I think he's possibly maybe on his way down, maybe as they've been sort of running for the ball, maybe he's tripped, his ankles have been clipped, and he's on his way down, I think, because he's crouching a little bit too low for him to be sort of going down for to go back up for a header or anything like that. So I felt the player in green was favourite. Ball was coming in from right to left end. I did take quite a lot from the eye lines of the players. I felt the players right, I felt the player in green and his right eye was looking down just slightly, and his eyes seem to be just a little bit closed. The eyelids don't seem to be fully open. So I also felt that was why it was maybe just a little bit lower.
Yeah, thank you very much. And that just leaves my own, which I'm just a little above yours, Wendy. Again, I thought that the player in white was crouching, or had maybe just been, as Wendy said, just nudged out of the way. But he's looking up against the ball. I think the ball is in the foreground. And a little bit further out than necessarily the picture shows us. I agree with Andy and one other that the player in the right there, I think, is going to the ball's coming towards him, so I think it's going left to right, it's past the player in green. Why the player's crouching down, we don't know. But he's looking firmly at the ball. I'm not sure who's going to play it. If I was to make a bet, I'd say the player on the right whose arm's sticking out. I thought this player in green was looking ever so slightly down, which is why I've gone at this point. And then I've just cross-referenced the eyes. I took a bit from the player in the background. I think he's just looking in that general direction. You can't see his eyes, but I think that's a good line across. So there we have it. So we've got the ball in the foreground. We're not in 100% agreement that the ball is passing by the players. I think Wendy thinks the player in green's favourite to play it. But all in all, we've reached this calculated average. And as you see, it's quite a narrow band across from the green player, but quite a wide band up from the player in white. And if I hover over the calculated average, you will see that there are 4 judges wholly outside the magnifier. So if we were to go through, taking them all out, we'd end up with quite a few people's choices taken it out and back into roughly the same position. I think everybody's view is credible, particularly with a difficult picture like this. So I'm not going to suggest anything, but I want to come through you all and see what suggestions you have and the reasons for it, and whether we judge at this calculated average or alter it by removal, I think is up to you. So Anna, I'll come to you first.
Yeah, no, I think we got 2 crosses on each side of the magnifier, and I think they balance each other. So therefore, I would keep everyone personally. I would keep everyone, and the average weight is.
Yeah, thanks, Hugh.
Yeah, likewise. It's well balanced with everyone around it. No one's miles away to remove, so happy with it.
Yeah, Leo.
Yes, Matt, I agree with you. I think everybody's credible. And I think the average also is in a very good position.
Yeah. Wendy?
Yeah, likewise. I think the 4 crosses, the 2 either side, balance each other out. And I like the average where it is.
Yeah. Peter?
Could you take looking at the screen, the 2 on the far right out just to see where it falls? I would prefer that
Okay.
because it brings it closer, tighter cluster. And again, you could take the two on the far left out and then bring it across. But I think the ones on the far on the right.
Yeah. Okay. And
Yeah.
if you're wondering why I've gone out of sequence, it's my paperwork and the screen are slightly different. So apologies for that. Andy?
As was stated, it is a very difficult picture this week to draw the crosses on, as you can see. To be honest with you, 4 or 5, I don't agree with quite wholly, but the average balances out, so I'm happy with the average.
Okay. And Liam?
Yes, mate, I agree. Also, with just leaving it as it is, I don't think it's has been alluded to. It's a difficult picture to judge this morning, and I think everyone's opinion is credible. And we need to also remember that this is about 8 people. This is about us putting our input into getting a decision. It's about team. It's not about the individual and having it near. For me, it's not when it's spread like this. It's not about, oh, I want it near my cross. It's about let's do the best as a panel for the people that are playing the game, and that's why I think it should stay where it is.
Yeah, thank you. I'll draw a couple of lines in just so we can see the split. So we really have a split. You could say the green one is on the line just above it. So that's 4 and 4, and up from the player in white. Again, we've got it ever so slightly, but mine's slightly below. So again, you could call that a 4x4. So it is, as an average goes, as good as we can get. And as we've said many times before, it's very important the players' competition really go from where the position of the eyes are. And I think this calculated average personally is a good compromise, particularly with the larger spread that we have in a very credible position. So Claire, after a good panel discussion, we decided to judge at this calculated average with all 8 choices taken into consideration.
Right, please press the button. So thank you, judges. The coordinates selected are X 2232 Y 1254. These coordinates will now be passed to the auditing company assets to calculate the winner of the competition, and they will then be passed to BOTB. That concludes the judging process. Thank you all.